And we are live. Welcome back to Sonny TV Arsenal, and of course the Transfer Exchange, the review show with our regular guests, the Free Scouts. We've got three back this week. We're going to start with one of the missing men of last week. We missed you, Simon. We missed you, mate. It was like a piece of me was missing, but he's back.
Yeah. All right, carry on. Get on with it.
Simon, undefeated. Not Simon Sheffield. The sophistication,
trying to attract some new fans.
There we go. And our man up the top, you got Niall Quinn, you got John Hartson, Alan Smith, but we've got Steve K. Welcome, Steve.
Good evening, everybody.
How you doing? And hello, everyone in the comments section. Hello, everyone watching. Welcome to tonight. We've got a packed schedule. Loads to talk about. Loads of players to talk about that Arsenal have been linked with. We've got a new segment that we've got in the show. We've got a couple. One called Can He Kick It, where we see whether the player has got the credentials to kick it in the Premier League. How you doing, Liam? And our other new segment, which is Arsenal Youth Watch, where we'll be looking through the Arsenal youth players, one each week, and discussing whether they've got what it takes to progress at Arsenal or even move up into the first team now, later, or never. So let's start, everyone, with Arsenal being linked with another couple of defenders. So what it tells you is Arsenal are after defenders. And not just any defenders, it's centre-backs. One of the centre-backs that we were after, or we've been linked with, is Real Madrid's Eder Militao. He was bought for €44 million in the summer from Porto, and only one season at Porto as well. Before that, he was at Sao Paulo, a young player from Sao Paulo, and he's a very good defender. Good pace, good in the air, strong, reads the game well, but he's only actually played 9 games for Real Madrid since his signing, and 2 in the Champions League. Rumours are that Real Madrid are looking to get rid of him. But a man that was bought for £44 million in the summer, how much less are they willing to take? And do we think he's good enough? I know, Jerome, you had a look at him. Do you want to start off? Is Eder Militao good enough to grace the Premier League?
I think Eder Militao, if that's how you pronounce it.
I don't even know. I probably crucified his name. I apologise, Eder. I apologise, wherever you are.
We'll call him Ed. We'll call him Ed for now.
Eddie. Go on, Eddie.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah. From what I've seen of him, he looks top draw. And I think he's a bit unlucky because the 2 centre-backs at Madrid at the moment are arguably 2 of the best in the world in Varane and Ramos, which is why he hasn't played as many games as he'd have liked to. As you said, he's very comfortable on the ball. He's quick. He uses his body well. He's a proper modern day centre back, but solid. I'd love us to go and get him, but I think he would cost a lot of money, especially with our sort of budget. And I guess I don't know how many years Ramos has got left at Madrid. So I'd be surprised if they sold him, but definitely someone that I like the look of. So I'd be more than happy if he was to join us.
Yeah. Like you're saying, someone that's come in for 44 million. Looks like a top player. But how do we really have 44 million to spend on a centre back? I don't think we do. I just don't think we do, especially after the pandemic. I think we're going to be looking for deals, and this doesn't strike me as one that's really a bargain or in the category that Arsenal are looking at. But it would be a good signing. Steve, did you have a look at him as well?
Yeah, this at the moment, this kid is exactly what Jerome said. He's very reminds a bit of Laporte, very good on the ball. But at the moment, his confidence is shattered at Real Madrid. This is what I've heard. He's only 20 years old. His career was going up and up and up. He was bought from São Paulo in Brazil, and the guy was just, the next Varane. Everyone was talking about him. He got him the move to Porto, where again he excelled. Then he got his dream move to his boyhood club that he supported, Real Madrid. But as soon as he's got there, he's just confidence has just been shattered. Ramos, I've heard, is not a fan, not said the most nicest things to the kid, and now he's been told that Real Madrid are looking to move him on. I feel very sorry for this kid because this kid is quality. The only thing about him coming to Arsenal is that Real Madrid do not make losses on players.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely do they make losses on players, I say. Not never. And as I say, I think they bought him from €50 from Porto. So I'm looking at, they'll probably be asking something for €70 or putting him out on loan somewhere. Great shame, because like Jerome said, a real quality. And, I hope he gets back, but not at the moment for me. Not at the moment.
Simon, I don't know if you've seen much of him, but your favourite man, Upamecano, looks like he's made a bit of a U-turn, signed an extension, or if he's not signed an extension, could be signing an extension RB Leipzig. And in the long run, I'm hearing rumours that he's going to be going to Bayern Munich. Do you think that Militao would be a good signing? Would be the right signing for Arsenal?
I think it'd be a good signing. I've not really looked at transfers lately because with what's going on with the season and the coronavirus, nobody knows where they're going to be next season, so they don't know what money that they've got. Big deals and stuff like that. I think this virus has hit a lot of football clubs. So, like you said, swap deals. I think the biggest swap deal we'll see this summer is Lacazette and Thomas Partey, in my opinion. That's what I think we'll see. But I watched this kid for his debut for Real Madrid, and next to Ramos, he made one little mistake where he went to the corner flag and he let the ball run out when he could have easily just pulled the ball back and actually kept it going. And Ramos went over to him and said something to him. And then for the rest of the game, he was shot. He kept wondering what he was doing. He was looking all over the place. Somebody even put in the comments, watch on 4 minutes and 27 seconds, and Ramos ends up saying two things to him at half time while he's going down the tunnel. And it's like, to do that to a young kid, fair enough, I know it's Real Madrid, big expectations, but to do that to a young kid on his debut as well, I thought Ramos were a bit of a prick, to be honest here, but it does look good. But it's like, we Arteta, what sort of centre-back does Arteta want? He said he wants a left centre-back, he wants a left-footed centre-back. Well, he's got that in Mari. And he wants a commanding leader at the back to go next to Mari. And he's got that in Saliba. Even though he's a young kid, he's still a commanding centre-back. He still tells his teammates at Saint Etienne what to do every single time. That game when they played against Lyon, and Lyon were all over them completely. And Saliba was literally just grabbing everyone and saying, you here, you there, and you there. And he was organising everything. And I watched that and I thought, that's what we need. Someone that tells them what to do.
Yeah, but that's all well and good. That's all well and good when you know your level. But Saliba's got to come into an Arsenal team where he's moving into the Premier League and still think he's above that. Still think he's got going to teach them something, if you know what I'm saying. Because it's all well and good doing at Saint Etienne when you know you're moving to Arsenal and you know that these players will never play for a club like Arsenal. But it's different coming to Arsenal and trying to do it to David Luiz. And that's like I can see. I wouldn't pay too much attention to like a left foot, right foot centre back because I think he wants another centre back because the extension for Luiz I think was signed till we get that centre back in. That seems like the smartest move. And for me, it's Socrates and Mustafi out the door. Like they're the two that you can make some money off.
Yeah. I think it's both.
And that's what I'm saying. Both of them. I'm saying both of them.
Oh, I thought you were saying either. I'll say
Socrates and Mustafi out the door.
Yeah.
That's keeping Saliba in, Mari in,
David Luiz.
And then Chambers is still injured. He's still going to be, until whenever he's coming back. It's going to be start of the season before he comes back. And Holding, potentially we could see him out on a loan or a sell. So I think we'll be seeing another person come in anyway. Whether that's right foot, left foot, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think it'll be a case of we want another centre-back in. Because we're being linked with far too many centre-backs for us not to be in for a centre-back. They wouldn't be looking. They just wouldn't be looking. And the Mari one, for me, £10 million for a player that you've seen play a few games for us or a couple of games for us, you've seen him in training, that for me is an easy spend. It's an easy spend for me. I've not got to see him for another 2 games. I've seen him. I've seen him gel with the squad. He fits in. He's the right character. He's in. And then the next one, another centre-back we've been... I'm with Jerome on this one. If anyone wants to help me out here with the pronunciation of this, Gabriel Magalhaes. I'm
Magalhaes, isn't it? Isn't it Magalhaes?
He's Gabriel Magalhaes. He plays for in France. He has an absolutely horrendous haircut. He's played 24 games, and this is an absolutely outstanding record for Lille. Yeah, he's played 28 games. They've conceded 27 goals, and they're 4th in the league. Now, losing Nicolas Pepe made no difference to them, really. You would have thought that team would have capitulated after losing their best player, but they've just solidified themselves at the back. And this guy is obviously one of the main reasons. I don't know why this story is coming up, because I thought that he'd actually signed or had a medical with Everton.
Yeah.
But this was he had the medical with Everton in January, because I think they were going to sign him in January, but the deal didn't go through. So he's had the medical, and so I thought he was signing with Everton. But the story's come up that it looks like Arsenal are trying to hijack the deal. For me, it seems like it's a no-go. But if anyone's looked at him, tell me a little bit about him. Simon, have you seen a bit of Gabriel Magalhaes?
I haven't seen him play at all. No, I haven't. Sorry. No,
Jerome?
All I've seen is just getting linked. That's all I've seen. Yeah. He's being linked to Chelsea. He's being linked to Tottenham. He's being linked towards Man United.
It feels like it could be an agent trying to pass him about, not got any interest from the right team that he wants, and it's like, who's next? Okay, Everton, we're holding there. Still wait there while he's still chatting to a couple of other teams over here.
Yeah.
Steve, did you have a look at him?
Yeah, I've had a look at him. He's decent. Dodgy haircut. But there you go. Have to take that sometimes, don't you?
I mean, no sideburns, but
still dodgy.
It threw me. But if he's gonna header through brick walls and clean out strikers, I don't care what he looks like. I think sometimes our defenders have been a bit too pretty. That's why I like the look of.
It doesn't matter.
We had Gabriel. And he looked like Martin Keown's long lost son, but he was a bit too much of a hothead.
He looked like David Beckham, didn't he? Martin I've seen a bit of him, and he does look. He's big. He's strong. I like him. But then there's this thing that. The way his career's panned out, he started his career at a team called Eival in Brazil, and then he went on to Lille, where he played, where he was fantastic at Lille, like he just said, he was excellent there, and then he went on this. Then they all of a sudden, from having this incredible time at Lille, they bunged him off on loan. And they bunged him off on loan to Troyes in France. Then they bunged him off to Dynamo Zagreb. And then all of a sudden, no disrespect to Everton fans that are watching, and now the teams that are after him are Everton.
Yeah.
So it makes me think this might be something.
Enough?
Is he good enough for Arsenal? I mean, and maybe there's something. He seems to have gone from there, to down there. There's a very strange, as I say, from being one of the top defenders in France to be bunged out on loan is very strange. But I don't think it's a goer for Arsenal. But again, another centre back. I mean, we could just keep lining them up, can't we? But no, I don't think he's got one for Arsenal.
One comment you made, Jerome, was you can see by the way that we're being linked with these players that you can see sort of the outline or the sort of the recruitment that we're trying to go, the way we're trying to go. What did you mean by that? Did you mean like you can see that what kind of positions we're going for, or what style of play we're going for?
I can't remember saying that, to be honest.
Yeah, because I was like, no. The reason I bring it up is because I can kind of see a pattern, sort of what kind of players we're trying to sign.
You know what? I'll tell you what. Looking at this Gabriel and Ed, my view is they're both upgrades on all the defenders we've got at the moment. And with Gabriel at Lille, a little birdie told me that the Lille hierarchy are very big fans of Socrates. So maybe we could swap. No, I'm only joking.
Jerome, don't do that. I should have to give you a pay rise. He's hiding out in the Lille office. Little birdie says, I was hiding under the tables at Lille, and they said they like Papa. They like Papa.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Sky Sports.
If anyone saw the show that was put out with the interview with one of our good friends, Linus, he is a reporter from Ghana, and we spoke about a lot of things about Ghanaian football. We spoke about youth development in football in Ghana. But one of the first story I had to speak about was Thomas Partey. So if anyone had seen it, it gives a little insight into the thinking of Thomas Partey's agency and his surroundings. Many people may have thought that Thomas Partey coming to Arsenal, there was not really much of a chance. Definitely me being one of them, because there's not much of a chance, because I just think with someone who's held in such high regard in Europe, with let me even this up a bit, with a minimum release clause of £43 million, it seemed a bit like, Arsenal would be after him, but so would everyone else in Europe that needs a defensive midfielder, a box-to-box midfielder, or any sort of central midfielder. But what I'm hearing is we're in as much of a position as any of the other teams that are also involved. And the three teams that actually are involved are Man United, Arsenal, and Bayern Munich. Simon, seeing as you are such a fan of Thomas Partey, seeing as any signing I mention, you reply with Thomas Partey. How did you feel after watching the interview?
After watching the interview, I had really good insight, actually. Really good insight. I can't pronounce the guy's name, so I apologise for that. Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a really good interview. He weren't just saying, he's going to be amazing if he comes to Arsenal and all this. He actually gives you an insight to what Thomas actually wants from his move to Atletico. Because I don't know if it's his agent that's doing all this, putting pictures up on Instagram and saying, pick his club and which one does he want. I thought that was disrespectful to Atletico, that. I didn't like that. I thought that was disrespectful, because he's still a player for Atletico. them fans have still watched him for so many years and they adore him. Simeone adores him and wants him to stay. But Atletico need money. They seriously need money. Mm-hmm. So every single one of their players is up for sale. Every single one. But with Partey...
a lot of teams in Spain.
Yeah. Thomas Partey, though, on Arsenal, we were close to getting him last summer, and that's no secret. Everyone knows that. But we spent too long, apparently, on the Nicolas Pepe deal and then the Kieron Tierney deal and all that, even though Tierney were done like 2 months, and they stretched it out. But I've just got a weird feeling. I just think Partey actually wants to come to Arsenal. I just think he wants to go to Arsenal.
Yeah.
All his, like, obviously family and friends and stuff like that. They'll throw Man United in there because it's Man United. Paul Pogba's either going or staying or whatever. They've got Bruno. They've still got Fred, who they paid 50 million for. So what's going to happen to him? They're just going to chuck him away or leave him to rot on bench. So Bayern Munich, Thomas Partey's dad came out and said that he's not interested in Bayern Munich. He's not really interested in Germany. He wants the Premier League. He wants to make the next step.
Remember, if you watch the interview, Simon, listen to the start of what he said. He said,
with his dad and stuff like that.
Thomas Partey's dad has made comments, but don't read into them comments because Thomas Partey's dad has played no part in
his career.
Partey does. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. In his career.
A lot of these journalists will come out and say, he said this, his dog's, cat's, uncle's best friend says that. Ignore that. Unless it's come from Thomas Partey himself, ignore it. I'm sure you two guys both saw the interview. What did you take from it, Jerome?
You know what, it's just hard because obviously people talk, but anyone can talk and say anything. And then when it comes down to it, that's what matters. So it's hard for me really to draw too much, just because things can change, and so it's a real hard one. But you know, hopefully it's always been his dream to play next to Xhaka. So maybe
because he's not going nowhere.
Yeah, no, he's not. No, that's another
there
thing.
You go.
That's another.
We've just lost a subscriber there, Psycho Mank. Sorry, but we've just lost him.
That's another thing. And I know you saw the interview, Steve. But one thing I did take from it is it's about lifestyle as well. So for me, I don't know whether this was part of the interview. For me, the lifestyle thing, that's why it would write off Germany. The simple, basic things like weather.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to get on.
A lot of. One thing he said was a lot of Ghanaians have gone over to countries like Russia, countries like that. Within 6 months, they're back. It's not working because of the weather. And if anyone's been to Munich, it's cold 90% of the year. It's freezing. So in Munich, it ain't happening. Man United and Arsenal, the Man United one, he wants competition, of course, because healthy competition is good competition. The problem is competition against Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes is not the kind of competition he wants. And he wants to be playing week in, week out, which puts us in a good position. Now it's up to us to take that over the line. The Lacazette and Partey swap deal, I'm not seeing it. Personally, I'm not seeing it because it doesn't make sense to me. You want cash and you want to pay cash so you can siphon it out over 5 years or whatnot, and you want money back that you can spend now. And swap deals don't work. They don't work. Like the more and more I'm hearing movements in the transfer window, it's less likely that the swap deals are going to be happening. It's more likely that it's going to be normal, except for people just going to, as James says last week, people are going to think before they spend that money now. So that's what I see in the near future in my eyes. So, but hopefully Thomas Partey will be an Arsenal player one day. We never know. It's all hope. And on that note, Simon's done a runner.
I'm talking to the big man.
It's all hope.
I mean, from an Arsenal point of view, the one that makes most sense for us was to do if there is a swap deal, is the Lacazette Partey swap deal, because they do need a striker and we do need a midfield player. And when you put the two prices together, they're round about the same asking prices. So it does make a lot of sense. It does make.
I think it's Alexis Sanchez and Henrik Mkhitaryan, isn't it? We've seen that swap deal, and everyone thinks that it's all going to work out like that. Yeah. There's no secret that Lacazette didn't really want us. He wanted Atletico with Griezmann, but it didn't work out because of a ban. And then obviously he's come to us. If he gets a chance to go to Atletico, he'll jump at it. He'll absolutely jump at it.
But do Atletico actually want him, or are we hoping, based on the fact that we bought when we bought him 2-3 seasons ago, they wanted him then, so we could throw that in now? Like,
I think they do. Lacazette's for me the best striker in Premier League.
No, but he's not. He's
fundamentally. He's not getting the supply though.
No, but it doesn't matter. There's no supply. Does not matter. We're talking about a man who is one of the best strikers in the Premier League, who's been playing on the left and he's basting over 30 goals a season. Lacazette has not done that. He's fouled massively. He's had one good season because he worked hard. Other than that, he's not been a goal scorer. He's not been a predator, and that's what we bought him for. We bought him to score goals, and he's not done that. Simple facts. So he can't be the best in the Premier League. He's far from it. And if I was Atletico Madrid, I'd stay well away. There's so many other strikers I'd be looking at in amongst Europe over Lacazette first. And if you're talking about me losing my best central midfield player and swapping him for a player who hasn't hit the heights since he was at Lyon, I'd be like, no. Break the minimum release clause, and I'll go and find my own striker with the money that you give me.
Yeah.
So the swap deal may be, but I just can't see it. I can't see it because the swap deals just don't work like that. You get the player you want, they get the player they want. Someone's always getting shafted.
Yeah.
One other player that we've been linked with who could potentially be a replacement for either Lacazette or Aubameyang. And this player I'll bring up this week because it sort of sinks in with the style of play of a few other strikers that we've been linked with, which makes me feel like Mikel Arteta is going for a big man option, little man option. One little man is going to be our Sergio Aguero type player, and then the big man's going to be the lump who just bullies people. One player we've linked with is Wissam Ben Yedder of Monaco. He scored. What's he racking up this season? Ben Yedder.
Is it about 18 goals this season?
Yeah, and 7 assists.
He scored 71 goals in 138 games in his career, which ain't bad.
It's not bad, but this is a guy who's played at the lower levels of French football. He's worked his way up, and he went to Seville, and now he's gone to Monaco. So he's a bit of a journeyman. He's put in the hard shift, and you can't deny them players because, I mean, we had one, Ian Wright. Jamie Vardy's not done too bad. This could be the French one. What do we think of Ben Yedder? He looks like not a bad player, but do we think we cut in the Prem? Do you think he's an option? Do you think he's the answer?
Yeah, I don't think he's the answer. He's he reminds me a bit of Javier Hernandez, United and West Ham. Also, he's going to be 30 in August, so he's not exactly he's not someone that could stay at us for sort of 5 or 6 years. It'd be like a very, very short-term fix. Also, he's pretty small. He's 5'7", so whether he could handle like the physical aspect of the Premier League, like I think he'd get bullied by a lot of big centre backs. Also, I think Monaco spent about 40 million euros on him last summer, so it'd probably cost a lot of money. Wouldn't stay with us for that long. I don't think he's the answer for our centre forward.
But Steve,
yeah, waste of money.
Yeah, you're saying it's a waste of money, Steve. What you're saying?
Yeah, agree with Jerome. He can score goals. 29. Asking for £40 million. He's not what I would call someone in the top 15, 20 best strikers in Europe.
Yeah.
So for that amount of money, I would say he's definitely a no. There's younger players out there who are going to cost a lot less money. We've mentioned recently on the show, like Kieron KS1, someone who I've sort of been looking at recently, Esquilia, Barco, all these players, 15, 80 million. These are all 22, 20 years old, and they're a lot better. They've got more, more to go in them in their career than Ben Yedder. And he's only so no, not for me.
Yeah, but if you go on them two players that are also probably been linked with Arsenal as well. I know Kieron KS1, and I think he was saying that Barco's linked in America, and the journalists over in America are saying that Arsenal sent scouts to look at him. They're very much in the same style as that little man striker, which remind me so much of not necessarily the exact style of Sergio Aguero, but that option where you've got, because we're linked with Jovic and Oderson Edouard. Now, they're two strong target man-esque type players, both got pace. They're a bit more all-rounder than your old-school target man. And then we're also linked with players like Adeyemi, Barco, Jonathan David, Ben Yedder. And that's the other option. And I feel like, from what I've heard as well, Arteta wants Oderson Edouard regardless, whether Aubameyang goes or not. So he's got a plan for the long term, which is good. Yeah. I love that. So I think he's looking at another option. So he's got another style up top. So we may not be Ben Yedder, but it could potentially be a player who's a little bit smaller, a little bit more mobile, and maybe a bit more of just a goal scorer. So yeah, we're going to go to our chief scout, Steve. We was meant to go to look at a player last week. I sent Steve to the outskirts of France and Brittany to look at a 16-year-old midfielder that Arsenal have been linked with. He did the work, and me, the bastard, didn't let him talk about him. So, Steve, just for you, we're going to talk about... the ferry. I was seasick. Come back. Did he care? Did he? Did not care one bit. We're going to talk about Rennes, Noah Francosi. Rennes have a very prestigious youth academy. They're bringing through a lot of good youth players. Edouard Camavinga being one of them, who's been linked with moved to Real Madrid. And this Noah Francosi is another defensive midfielder, central midfielder that Arsenal have been linked with. Steve, take the mic.
I mean, I've watched him for at least about a month now. Noah Francosi, very apt name, because you don't get two of these come on. Very much. He's 16 years old. He comes from the Rennes Super Academy, the same academy the Wonderkid Eduardo Camavinga come from. He plays for the under-17s French international. He's a defensive midfield player. He's got a fantastic attitude. He sticks to the job what's asked of him. He doesn't wander. Very much in the Gilberto Silva mould. Very trustworthy. His manager has come out and said those words. He's yet to sign full personal terms with Rennes, and that's like light bulb. That's switched on the switch. And it's alerted PSG, it's alerted Seville, it's alerted Barca, Real Madrid, and Arsenal. So it's a battle. It's going to be a battle to get this kid. He's only played 5 games, right? But in every single one of those games, he came out as the top player in every one of them. This kid's one to watch, and one hell of a player.
but it says a lot about the fact that I don't even remember when Emery was in charge that we was even being linked to so many youth players. But since Arteta's come in, I'm seeing us linked with every other wonder kid that's out there, which says we are actually looking for youth players. We are looking for the next generation of players as opposed to the here and now. Noah Francosi, hopefully we see a welcome to Arsenal video from you soon, because I cannot find any footage of you out there, so I don't know where Steve has plugged up anything from. Trust me.
I had to go to France, didn't I?
Trust me.
Steve's coronavirus.
Steve's walking around with his permit in a hazmat suit and his goggles, checking out French youth players, mate. He's an animal. He's an animal.
Yeah, I was scuba diving. I had to go in the water. I had to swim across. It's the only way I could get across to see this kid.
The next segment we're going to go to is Arsenal Youth Watch. We are gonna each week we're gonna go through one of the youth players at Arsenal through any level, research them, look at all the footage we can, ask the experts, ask the scouts, are they good enough to make the move at Arsenal, to step up? And the first week is Florian Balogun, the striker from Arsenal. You've probably heard of him. He's an absolute beast. Pace, finishing, the lot. His youth record is absolutely phenomenal. This season, 19 games. Last season, 19 games, 25 goals, 4 assists. That's 33 contributions to goals in 28 games. This season, he's hit 10 goals and 4 assists in 16 games. There's been a lot of talk about him. He's powerful, pacey. Jerome, take the lead. Tell me about him.
Yeah, as you were saying, his performances at youth level have been amazing. So much so that Brentford made a bid for him in January of £5 million, which got rejected. Yeah, so Arsenal obviously rate him. Now he's only a month, I think, older than Martinelli. But in terms of Balogun, he's definitely a player that I think next season should go out on loan and play first team football for maybe a championship side, see how he gets on, rather than sort of throw him in at the deep end with us straight away. But yeah, definitely someone that I think could be an Arsenal player in the future, but just needs to be given a chance, out on loan, see how he gets on, and yeah, one to watch for sure.
Yeah, Simon, what do you think he would bring differently to our strike force over an Aubameyang, Lacazette, or Nketiah?
I'd probably say movement. Out of everything. He's a good goal scorer. I've seen a few videos what people put on Twitter and stuff like that talking about him, so I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And his movement's really good. He moves like Aubameyang. He knows when to get in the box. He knows when to be out of the box. He always looks at the centre back that he's next to and fakes to go left and then goes right. He's got unbelievable power. The way that he just shoves off some of them other kids, basically, and then goes through one-on-one with keeper and slots it away every single time. But the thing with us and youth, I watched Chuba Akpom come through. I saw a few games at Arsenal when I went and watched it, basically, because it's like your under-21s and stuff like that. I watched a few of him, and he looks like an absolute beast, and I wanted him to be part of our strike force because we only had Giroud at the time, and Yaya Sanogo was there. And as soon as he came through, I thought, yes, here we go, watch him grab his opportunity. And he didn't. He had a few appearances, and then that were about it. He got shipped out on loan, and he did rubbish, so they sent him back. And then he went out on loan again, and the same thing happened. He had a half-good season, and then we just flogged him and got rid of him. So
and then he won the league. And then he won the league with Payok.
With who?
He won the Greek league with Payok.
Who are they?
They won the league. No. There's Panathinaikos, Olympiacos.
Solskjaer won 2 bleeding leagues in Finland. What were they?
PAOK Salonika.
Thank you very much. Have some respect. Well done, Jerome. We just got knocked. Just remember, we got knocked out of the Europa League by the team that didn't win the league. So remember that one, Simon. Steve, Warren Balogun, how do you think he can make the step up? What do you think you can bring differently? And when do you think he's actually going to come through, if ever, at Arsenal?
I think he's ready. From what I see, I think he's ready now. He's one of these players who, when he runs at defence, he literally frightens the life out of them. All you ever see is that when he's got the ball, is that his defence is backing off. And 9 times out of 10, this kid is just finishing it, and he's not just finishing it; he's burying it. He's burying it top corners, left, right, left foot, right foot. He's got the same confidence as what Saka has. He's got exactly the same confidence as him. And I get Jerome saying about going on loan, but I'd keep him. I'd put him in there. I'd keep him, and I think he's ready for the first team.
See, Steve. That's everything I said on Chuba Atpom. That's what I'm saying. I said everything that you said, Steve, then is how I said about Chuba Atpom and how I wanted him to be in the team, and it just didn't work out, and it hindered him.
Steve, when I was watching the videos, of Balogun, I was thinking to myself, you know what, he'd really link up well with Noah Francosi.
What,
an Armando Tour on the right side, yeah? Yeah,
I'm in conversation with them now. Yeah. I'm in the conversation with Rennes and trying to get him there.
In our heads now, we're so far ahead. We're setting up Arsenal teams for like 5 or 6 years' time. That's what we're about. Now, look, Balogun, as Steve said, the one thing that I really like about Balogun is when he's in front of goal, you feel like he's going to put the ball through your chest. If anything, like it's going in the back of the net, it's going to take a hole through the back of the net. Like I watched about 70 minutes of a game, and there was one point where Balogun was through on goal, but he still had to open up and tuck it, and you see one of his teammates put his hand and you was just like, that's the level of confidence that people have in front of goal. Now, what don't want to do is have him sitting around and stewing around the under 23s for too long till he starts second guessing himself and that. What you want is you want to exploit that fearlessness now. So when we can get when we do come back, I think it's a case of I see what you're saying with the loan, because he wants to get game time, but sometimes when you send these players out on loan, they don't get as much game time as what you think. I mean, Eddie went out to league, couldn't get a game. He's come back to Arsenal and he scored 3 goals. It
can knock their confidence. You know, when they're thrown out on loan, it can knock their confidence. And when they come back, they're not the same player. And if you're playing like we've always said, you're playing football in a playground. I know we're not, but you know, if someone's saying that it's Reece Nelson and then there's this Balliot going, I know who I'm picking on my side, and it's not Reece Nelson. So this is the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I think you put him out on loan, you could knock his confidence, and you have to gauge it whether this kid, you know, is this kid good? Can he go into the team, or if we do put him out, is it going to knock him back? So that's what you've got to work out. It's difficult.
I think a lot of managers would rather keep him in the team, so you get to see them. They're around the players they're going to be playing eventually. So, and that's what you want. It's a fine line you've got to judge. And as back to what Simon was saying with regards to you had high hopes for Chuba Akpom, but finding a youth player that comes all the way through youth and gets into the first team, out of 100, there's probably about 5. It's very low numbers, and even Chuba coming through the youth and getting first team appearances is very low numbers. So it happens. But there are certain players, when you see them in the youth team, they've got a little bit more of a spark. I saw it with Jack Wilshere.
Yeah.
I saw it when I saw Aaron Ramsey playing when he was playing for Cardiff. I saw. You see it with certain players when they're young. They've just got that bit of, and he's got not just that fearlessness. He's got that bite. He's got that sort of where it feels like he wants to get into a scrap. And when you've got a striker that you think wants to get tucked in, that's the aggression is a big part of the game. One of the last things we're going to go on before we take the questions in about 5 minutes is the Aubameyang saga. I know we want to move off of it, but it's not going to go away until he signs a contract or he goes. I'm going to go on this one. Is selling Aubameyang for 30 million bad business, and does it show lack of ambition, or is it just smart to get rid of him at the point where he's probably got about 2 more seasons of his best, and you're probably looking to do what you've done with Ozil and fork out 300 grand a week on a 3-year deal for a 30-year-old or 31-year-old. Where do we go from here? I'm going to start with you, Simon.
When you look at it, 30 million and he could leave for nothing, then you think, take the money. Because it's 30 mil. But I'm sick and tired of just seeing us sell our best players. And it's not even to rivals overseas. Yeah. It's rivals in England. That's what does my head in so much. If, in all fairness, I'd rather just keep him. And just, to be honest, with this coronavirus, we said this a lot tonight, I can see him staying. Even if he don't sign or not, I can see him staying because nobody's going to want to basically pay the wages that he wants, especially with this coronavirus. Everyone's being hit. So the worst case scenario for me is I can see him staying at Arsenal for 1 more year, whether it's good, crap, or he's pissed off every week like Alexis. Well, I'm just saying. And he goes for nothing because I can't see anyone coming in for him. If anyone does, it's Man City or it's Newcastle United. That's all I can see.
Steve, when Simon was saying you see him staying, I'm guessing you see him staying. But if we're going off the fact he's selling, is 30 million right now bad business, and does it show lack of ambition, or is it just smart when the player's going to go for free in the next summer?
Well, firstly, we can't get into his head. The fact if he wants to go, he'll want to go. If he wants to stay, he wants to stay. So that bit we can't decide. You know, we can't work at that. For 30 million, it's terrible business. It's awful business. If we sold our best player, probably the top 3 strikers in the world, 100 million, it's terrible business. What are we going to do with 100 million if we got for Babby? What are you going to do with it? Yeah? What are we going to do? Who are you going to buy? Who are you going to get to replace his goals? Who's going to come? You've already got a player there, right? And let's just say he does sign a 3-year, right? So we've got to take it into consideration that he wants to be at Arsenal and he's going to do the same business he has done. We can only go by what he's done for the last 5 years at Dortmund and however much of time he'd been at Arsenal. And that has been prolific, right? And that's all we can go by. So I think it's terrible business. Any money, absolutely any money, and it does show lack of ambition. I think
he's signed. To be honest, I think he's signed.
Jerome, 30 million. Yeah. Let's say it was worth 50 million before Corona. Corona slashed it. It's taken 20 million off. Do you take the money or do you hold him there for the rest of the season and it goes on a free?
I don't know, but what I will say is if we sell Aubameyang for 30 million, we won't know whether that's a good deal or a bad deal until 6 months, a year later, because it all depends how we spend the money we get for Aubameyang. If we sell him for 20 million, yet we replace him. Yet next season we've got a better midfield and we score more goals, then 20 million is going to look like a good deal for us because we're going to do better without him in the team than with him. So it all depends what we do with the money that comes in for him, or how the team lines up next year.
What can you do with 20-30 million? What can we do with 20-30 million?
Yeah, but if we're being realistic, even if we got 50 million for him, what are you buying for 50 million? You're not
exactly.
You're not buying 30 goals a season for 50 million. But
what you might do is you might not get 30 goals. You might get 15 goals. Then you might get 30 goals from other areas of the pitch, depending on how the team lines up, how they play. Just another way of looking at it.
Exactly.
It's exactly right, but it's if, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's why we won't know. We won't know till 6 months.
We've already got someone who we know.
Yes. But that one who we know has not signed an extension on his contract, and as we know, previous years, because I was a massive. Keep him because we could get Champions League. Well, it doesn't work. Because we had Alexis Sanchez there, didn't want to be there, and he huffed and puffed and blew the house down, and we got a Mkhitaryan as a replacement. Awful bit of business. One of the worst bit of businesses we've ever done. Keep Alexis Sanchez sulking for a season and a half, then swapping for Mkhitaryan, who was just dog. So
Kieron,
I feel like it's a bit of a pipe dream to think that a player who doesn't want to be there is going to give his best for a team. 30 million.
But guys, wouldn't it be better if we sold Lacazette and Bellerin?
I think I don't worry about Bellerin, because I think that the right back position is not an integral position to replace at the moment. But I think that Lacazette's not the answer if we sell Aubameyang. I think if you're selling Aubameyang, sell Lacazette as well, because I think you need a fresh start. Lacazette has not been the striker for us since he got here, and he's not going to be the answer for us when Aubameyang goes either. He's been given the spot that he wants as the main striker, and he can't do it. When he's played with two up top, it's been okay, but it's not been setting the world alight. And you can't put the team around Lacazette, or you can't have your main focus on Lacazette. That's my opinion. We are now going to go to the questions. So please, everyone, get your questions in. While we're waiting for a couple of questions, I will ask you one question. Boys, obviously now it's a little bit different, but there's a lot of fake news that goes about. Like, you've been trained, you've gone through the boot camp, the Kieron Stewart boot camp, and now you're like immune to this fake news. Simon, you're not immune to it yet. But there are a lot of fake news goes about. I see one the other day which wound me up. Arsenal miss out on Wonderkid to Manchester United. Then we find out that this Wonderkid has already been at Man United for a year. Before that, Man United got him from Tottenham. So people, you have to be wary of this news. Axel Disas, the latest one. Southampton are confident they can pip Arsenal to the post for Disas's signature. Arsenal, you having a laugh?
I told you, it's media.
Is this where we've fallen? We're being pipped to the post by Southampton? No, people. If we wanted Axel Disas, we'd get Axel Disas. We obviously don't want him if Southampton are getting him. Please, if we wanted Pape Gueye, we would have got Pape Gueye on a free. The chances are we're probably looking at Pape Gueye, but he probably wanted assurances that he was going to get more first team football. It's not always about joining the big team and the best team. Sometimes it's about getting football, as what we spoke about earlier with Thomas Partey. It's the same thing with joining Man United. He doesn't see a clear path for him at Man United with Pogba and Fernandes in the team there. Obviously, with Tomini and the other ones around there, he doesn't see that this is a nice settled move into a squad. So sometimes it's that, people. So it's not always, is this where we're off? Is this where we've fallen? We're losing to Watford and Southampton. Like, relax, people. Like, they're doing that because they're waiting for that reaction. Stop giving them that reaction, and then stop writing this crap. That's my last rant for the day. So, questions, please. Go on, Steve. While I'm looking.
What you got to think of with this fake news, everybody out there, is that Arsenal online, all over the world, is the biggest internet social media, fan base in the world. So for anybody who's they're going to link with anybody, it's going to be Arsenal. So just remember that. That's what you've got to remember.
And we are one of the most reactional fans as well. It's us and Liverpool, and I think Tottenham as well. And they know that. That's why the phone-ins have the Daily Arsenal. That's why they always speak about Arsenal. They've switched it to Liverpool and Tottenham now because we react the most. As soon as we hear a bit of news, it's, oh my God, it's a joke. And that's what they want. And we do that. So they're like, all right, cool. Let's talk about Arsenal again. Let's just make up some rubbish. So please, guys, stop reacting like that, and then stop writing these rubbish stories because they won't get a reaction. First question goes to Jerome. We can't see him at the moment, but it's from Joseph Connor Golden. It's a great name. Great name, Joseph.
JCG.
Not Joseph. Joseph's an all right name, but Connor Golden, brilliant surname. Question to Jerome: how many players would you sell in the first team?
Oh.
How many players would it do?
How long we got? How long we got? Have we got?
In the start. 1, 2. I'm thinking right back, a centre back, maybe 5 or 6.
Go on, what are they?
Who are they?
What players? Who are they?
I'd like a new right back instead of Bellerin. I'd like a new centre back to play with Saliba. I'd keep obviously you got Saliba in the left back. I'd sign 2 new centre midfielders. So that's 4. I'd sign a player instead of Ozil. That's 5. And maybe someone else 6.
But he'll keep Granit Xhaka. No,
Xhaka goes. He's one of the 2 centre midfielders that both centre midfield, both holding like the 2 players at the base of midfield. Got to go.
You lot are ripping your team apart too much in one season. Like you have low morale. No one wants to play for you. Head's gone. You just sold the geezer who everyone loves. Like there's a lot of dynamics in changing rooms. You got to be fucking wary of, mate.
It's because they're 9th in the league. If they weren't 9th in the league, maybe changes.
We've got a question from the man himself, and no, Jerome, you can't answer this question because it's just not fair. So, will the big downgrading of player valuations help us or hinder us?
Oh dear, Simon,
go on. I'll answer it as well.
I'll let you answer first, Kieran. I'm just thinking first.
Personally,
obviously, yeah.
I think it will help us because we ain't got much to sell. So the valuations of the players that we're not going to sell anyway aren't really going to go down much. Lacazette, Aubameyang, I think the likes of Mustafi and Papa, their valuations won't go down. I don't think will go down that much. I think there's obvious ones that will be a bit of a hinder, which are the Aubameyang one. We in our heads we had it as 50 million, but realistically, were we actually ever getting 50 million for a player with a year left on his contract that wants to actually leave? If that was the case, we weren't getting 50 million. That's a hope. But I do think that the downgrading of valuations could actually help us because I think we've got money to spend. I do. I think as we said before, it's just got to be spent on the right characters. It's not. I don't think it's a case of buying big names, big prices. I don't think that's important. We've tried that and we failed. We're no good at it. So let's start making stars again instead of buying them, as Arsene Wenger once said. Simon, to you.
Yeah, that's what I would have said, actually. It'll actually help us because we've only got the odd players that are actually valuable and get some money for. And then you've got your players like Mustafi. It's not as bad as what we all thought, so his valuation's gone up. And then you've got Sokratis. I'm pretty sure he'd probably go back to Germany and do well for 2 or 3 years somewhere, and then it's just the players we just need to get rid of that we don't want here. Your Mkhitaryan's, your Mohamed El Nenis and all that.
But I think they're going. I think there's interest.
Yeah, that's it. Make a profit on them. If you can get Ozil to Fenerbahce, go. I think this wage cut and deferrals, it could actually be a good thing for Arsenal with Ozil, because he's pissed off with the club apparently. And Aubameyang himself has never come out and said, I want to leave Arsenal. He's never said that. His dad's never said that. So he might not want to be here, but we're just saying that really, aren't we?
Okay. But in all the years of our best players, how many of them have actually come out and said, I want to leave Arsenal?
Alexis, that one.
That's one. We're talking about our captains. They don't say it. They're not silly enough to turn around and say, and even once they do leave, they still the egos of these footballers are so big, they still want to be loved by Arsenal fans. Robin van Persie has talked smack about us since he left Arsenal, because there's this something bitter inside him that wants to sort of get payback for something. Now he's trying to feed out stories to make him look like, oh, this was out of my hands, I had no choice. Because that's because he wants love from the Arsenal fans again. He doesn't like us not liking him. That's why Seth Fabregas is coming out with the stories that this was why I didn't come back. This was why I left. I regret it. Because he wants to be loved by the Arsenal fans. Because that's where he started his career, basically. Yeah. I'll take 2 more questions. One from our man Simpy. He's been this guy here. Thank you very much for subscribing to my channel, KS1 TV. Go and subscribe. Simpy did the other day. He follows me on Insta. Good guy. Do you think the cash injection from Stan is for loans, swaps, transfers, or for staff? It's a good question, Simpy. Steve, go on.
Well, I hope it's for transfers. That's all I can say really. I just hope it's for transfers, because we need it. We're desperate for it, and as Jerome just said, you know, he just named 4 or 5 people that he wanted to get rid of, which means, you know, half of our first team we need replacing. So it's imperative that Stan's money comes in and is used for one thing, and that is for transfers. I mean, we've had it for so long now. You know, the fans have had to put up with this loan deals and having our best players leave. You know, whether it's just, you know, just like me head thinking that I hope that it's for transfers. But yeah, I mean, I just hope it's for that.
Yeah. I either way, whether he's giving it for the staff, there should be some reserves for transfers. There should be different budgets for different things, and transfers shouldn't be getting hit. Progression of the club shouldn't get hit. Our last question. This is a big one, and this is why I picked it. From Abdullah Al-Mame. I'm sorry, Abdullah. I apologise. I am a dog. That was awful pronunciation. I apologise. Is Arsenal a big club? I'm going to answer this one because as an Arsenal fan, you can have many doubts over the years whether we've declined, which we have. That's without doubt. But sometimes you've got to take a step back and hear it from other people that might not be in your initial circle, other people that might not be in your Arsenal circle as well. Try hearing it from people that aren't Arsenal fans that from other countries. When I had my interview the other day with Linus, that was a time where it was a bit of a reminder that Arsenal are still a big club. Thomas Partey would be looking at us if we weren't a big club. When people look at us, they look at status, and they look at Arsenal as a club with status, and we are that club. Now, we might be having a blip, a dip in around. Everyone has that. but it's about how you recover from that blip. And hopefully, with the moves that we're making with Arteta, the blueprint that he's trying to write with the mentality of the squad, with the players that he's trying to bring in, it will solidify us as a big club for years with the players and the next set of movement, the next generation that we move. So yes, Abdullah, we are a big club. For anyone out there that says Arsenal aren't a big club, we are a big club. Pull your head out your arses. It's a bit of a bad time. We've got to back each other. And we make ourselves a big club again. So yes, we are a big club, and always will be, as Sam Greenwood said. That's it for tonight.
You've only got to see. You've only got to see the teams. You've only got to see the when Arsenal go on tour, you know, and you see the type of support they got.
Yeah, Arsenal like what fifth biggest club in something or something like that. Well, who cares? Who cares? We're a big club. Once again, I'd like to thank my resident scouts, Steve K.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
The chef, Simon Sheffield. It's good to have you back, Simon.
Yeah, cheers. I'm feeling much better now, lads. Cheers.
We're going to do a whip round to get Simon a light bulb. I don't know if anyone's noticed it, but
yeah.
It's electric now. So we're going to do a little bit of a whip and put some money on the key. We'll send that.
Simon, behind you. Behind you.
I've literally gone to the TV. I've literally gone to the window and everything.
He's using the moonlight for light. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, Jerome Marks. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Kieran. Cheers, boys.
Please like and subscribe. The channel's growing. I think we just hit 3.8k subscribers. Thank you very much for that. I know I'm seeing new names all the time. I'll get used to reading them out. I'm awful at this at the moment, but we're growing slowly. Like, subscribe, follow Sonny TV, Twitter, Sonny TV Official. Also, don't forget to follow my guys, the resident scouts. That's Jerome Marks, Simon Undefeated, Simon Sheffield the Chef, and Steve AFC 71, our head chief scout. Thank you very much, people.
Cheers, everyone.
Next Sunday.
Cheers,
and also, don't forget, the Transfer Exchange show is going to be coming out, and the Transfer Exchange dispute next Wednesday. Peace out, stay safe, and wash your hands.
Bye, everybody.
See everyone.
Right.